All right, what's up guys? I wanted to hop on YouTube during this international pandemic and offer a little advice, something I wish I had when I was younger and I was buying so many film cameras. I wanna make a 3 to 5 minute video. Hopefully it's not longer. If it is, I'm gonna feel like an idiot, but I wanna make a quick video on the different types of film cameras and which ones you should buy for whatever you're doing. So we're gonna break it down into 3 cameras. I'm gonna show you cool cameras you can buy at a cheap price that haven't already been blown up all over the internet. And I'm gonna show you photographers that use those cameras and explain what's good about them and what sucks about them. So the cameras we're gonna be going over are SLRs, point and shoots, and a category I call high-end point and shoots or artist cameras. That is your Leica, that's your Contax G2. Those are the expensive cameras that you never want to actually pay for, but you really wish you could have. I'm gonna be showing off some legendary photographers and other friends of mine in LA and just people whose work that I admire and think is really good, and also explain what camera they use, why they use it, and hopefully that'll help you guys understand what camera you should get according to the images that they have taken on them. So, first camera we're gonna be going over is an SLR. So you guys have heard the term DSLR. This is just dropping the D, that's the digital, and now they're just SLRs. When I first started photography, I had been using, you'll see a lot of these like the Canon AE1, the Nikon F or FM2, any of the F series. They looked like this. This should be like, you'll see these a lot as a prop. And now the SLRs that people are using look like this. It looks like your regular like digital camera, your 6D, your 5D Mark IV, or some kind of Nikon. It looks like a regular digital camera, except there's no screen on the back. Now, the reason these are my go-to film camera, and the reason you should get one too if you are a photographer making money at this, or you're trying to switch to film and take really high-end photos, this is your best option because it hasn't been blown out of proportion like the Contax has. These are cheap cameras, and the best thing, like literally end all be all, best feature of these is you can put your Canon or Nikon lenses on them. That's right, new lenses, you can actually attach them to this camera. You don't need to buy old lenses, and that is the biggest problem with these old film cameras is a lot of times you have to buy lenses to it, and at the end of the day, you're spending like $1,500 to $2,000. That. You don't want to be spending that much money. If you already own a camera, whether it's Canon or Nikon, find an SLR that is of the same model and you can put the lens on it. Now, these cameras, the pricing is from $250 to $600. I wouldn't pay anything more. I wouldn't pay anything less than that. That is your sweet spot. That's what you're going to want to look for on eBay. I'm going to put a list of cameras right here. Hopefully it's on the side of my screen. If it's not on the side of the screen and I got lazy editing, then it'll be in below, but I'm pretty sure they'll be right here. I personally use the Canon EOS 3 just because I had a Canon and I found it on eBay for 300 bucks. And these are some of the images I've taken. So yeah, if you look at my photos, they're sharp, they're not out of focus, and they're all different focal lengths. I use 100mm, sometimes I use a 24 to 70. I can use any of my Canon lenses. Another amazing photographer that uses an SLR is Sam Damashek. He's here in Hollywood. He shoots film campaigns for Frankie's Bikinis or other really big brands. Sam uses an SLR too. Another great photographer that uses an SLR is Cameron Hammond. He uses this in tandem with a 5D Mark IV. So a lot of people, what they'll do, and this is another pro to this camera, is you can wear your digital camera on you, you can have the film camera on you, and you're just switching out lenses the whole shoot, going back and forth. And when you're switching back and forth, it's not this weird feeling of like a point and shoot and then a digital camera. They have the same feel, so it's easy to learn how to use it. Some cons to this camera: it's not portable, it takes a long time to set up sometimes if you're going for a shot and you need to mimic your digital settings, whether you're like, oh, my aperture is this, now I need to set the settings on here. There is full auto mode, but it's just kind of like clunky to carry around. It takes a while to set up. And the other con I would say is you need a knowledge of photography to use this. This isn't as easy to pick up as a point and shoot. So if you're just looking to shoot parties and concerts, don't get this camera. If you want to take artistic, wonderful photo shoots, do all that shit, get this camera. The next camera I'm going to talk about is a point and shoot. Now, this is your camera that you find at a garage sale, at the Goodwill, at the trading post on Melrose, wherever the f you are. This is the cheap camera you found, you took out for a night, and you either found out that you had the best night of your life and all the images are great, or you found out that your camera's a piece of shit and they're all out of focus. That's the fun thing about point and shoots, is that you never know what you're gonna get. But here are some cameras where you will know what you're gonna get. So point and shoots go for anywhere from $10 to $250. These are a great list of cameras that you can go ahead and purchase on eBay. Screenshot this. I'm not gonna give you links because they're gonna expire, but if you go on eBay and you look for a seller that's from Japan, Japan has really good film cameras, or if you find just an old man in Idaho selling a camera, just make sure it's someone you can trust. A lot of people are sketched out by buying film cameras online. You don't need to be. As long as it says it's tested, eBay will make sure that it's good. If it's not, you'll get your money back. And if you're buying these, if you see one of these cameras at the flea market, you can always just test the shutter, and if it looks like it's shooting, or if the flash goes off and you actually see the shutter open and close, that's how you can tell you're getting a good film camera. Otherwise, you lose 20, 30 bucks, you take a risk. Here are some photographers that do use it though. Brandy Wed, she's a local photographer here in LA, does a ton of cool work. You'll see all of her photos are just very vibrant, full of color. They're a lot wider. They're not really tight in shots. They're like a wide angle, and that's point and shoots for you. They're all wide. There's no detachable lens, and they all feel really natural and in the moment. So if you're looking to shoot parties, concerts, anything just on the go, and you want to be able to throw it in your backpack and not worry about breaking it, a point and shoot is the way to go. You're gonna want to get one of those. One more person that uses it, and a point I want to kind of bring up, is Vanelli Melli. She's a blogger. I wouldn't even call her a blogger because her work is better than mine, and I'm a photographer. But all of her work, you'll notice it all feels very in the moment, feels very real, feels very natural. And this is kind of becoming a trend. A lot of photographers and a lot of bloggers are stopping shooting with DSLR cameras, and they're moving to shooting a mix of iPhone and point and shoot. And you'll see a lot of her work. She adds grain in it in post. She throws texture layers on it. She scans her film so you can see it. All the shit she does is really cool. And a lot of the cameras she's using is like the Olympus Zoom. She also uses a Contax, which is a lot more expensive, but the Olympus Zoom is one of the cameras she uses. And I know a few other bloggers in LA that have started using this. It's a great camera. That's gonna be my top pick for point and shoots. And you can get it for usually around $150 to $200. And that's kind of pushing the top of the threshold of point and shoot and going into art camera. The only cons about a point and shoot is they're not as sharp, you never know what you're gonna get, and they're not really good for commercial work. They're not trustworthy, they break really easily, but they're fun for a night out, they're fun for shooting concerts and shit. The last camera I'm gonna talk about is the high-end point and shoot, or the artist camera, and that is, the Contax G2, that's the Leica. I'm gonna put up some more cameras like this right here in the corner or somewhere around me. These are really expensive cameras. The price threshold goes anywhere from $250 up to $2,000. If you're lucky enough to find one in your mom's basement, great, keep it in great condition. You can sell it or use it, but it's likely that you're not gonna find one of these just laying around. They're all on eBay now. Most of them are in Japan, and they usually go for like $1,000 to $2,000. The only reason I bought one is it's my dream camera. They're not the most practical cameras, and I'll explain why. But first I'm gonna show some of the photographers that use this. One of them is Peggy. She's here in LA. She shoots with a Contax T2. She also shoots with an SLR camera. I'm not sure which one. And you'll start to notice all the photographers I'm gonna mention for high-end point and shoots or artist cameras, they also use an SLR camera alongside it because they're not the most practical cameras to carry around. They're so expensive that you are likely gonna feel nervous taking it around with you. So we'll get on that more. Sam is another person, one of the guys I mentioned from SLR Cameras. He also uses a high-end point and shoot. He has a Contax like me. And lastly, Filthy Mouth Creative. She's another friend of mine. All of her photos too, she shoots on high-end point and shoots. You can see some of her work here on the screen. So the pros about these cameras, they're portable. Once again, they're great for parties or events if you're rich and you're not scared of bringing your point and shoot out. I brought this out to a few parties and a few concerts, and now the flash is broken. I have to re-super glue it. I don't know, every 2 weeks or anytime I use it. Even though the flash is not super expensive to replace, I just still use this one. They're great for beginners or experts. They have full auto mode. So this, some of the newer Leicas, I think, and the Contax T2, the Yashica T4, all those cameras have full auto mode, which makes it great for beginners who just have a lot of money sitting around and just want to get a really nice point and shoot. And they're sharp and they can be used commercially. I've used my Contax for several shoots, and it's not my favorite to use. I'd way rather use my SLR because I have different focal lengths, but it's a great camera nonetheless. It's super sharp and they're just really fun to carry around. You'll notice when you're carrying it and you shoot it, it's just like, they're so well made. Like, this camera is actually fucking perfect. There's not a thing I would change about it. It fits perfectly in your hand. It's amazing. But the cons of this camera, it is so expensive. I would not recommend to anybody to buy a Contax G2. After buying one now myself, I've realized the use case for this camera is not super practical, because I bought this as like, hey, I have my SLR, I want to have a really nice point and shoot that I can take out with me when I go on trips to Italy or some really beautiful location, and I don't want to be walking around all day with an SLR. I want to have a nice camera. If you want a nice point and shoot, get a Contax T2. It's a lot cheaper and it's a little bit more practical, or get a Yashica T4. It's even cheaper than the Contax. That's definitely like in the artsy realm of like high-end point and shoots. But if you're getting into the 2000 range, this is definitely like a choice that you probably don't need to watch a video to make. You probably have researched cameras all your life. But if somebody told you to buy this camera, I hope you're watching this video first, because buying a super expensive high-end point and shoot like one of these isn't always worth it. I always say go with the SLR. Now, another way to use this camera that a lot of these people that I mentioned use it for is they'll carry an SLR camera on their shoulder, and then they'll have their high-end point and shoot on the other shoulder, and they'll go back and forth between the two. I personally, on photo shoots, will keep my SLR on me. I'll have my 24-70 on it, and then I'll have my Contax on my other shoulder with the flash on, so I can shoot a mix of flash and natural light, or I can shoot black and white film in one and color film in the other. It's really nice to have a trustworthy camera that's in full auto mode the whole shoot, so if you get a good shot on this one, you get it all measured out, everything looks good, you can just move over to your Contax and then fire away, and it's gonna look great no matter what. So that has really been the only purpose I've found with this. As soon as I broke the flash at a party, I was scared to ever take it out of the office again. So hopefully you guys don't have the same experience with that. So just to do a quick recap, that is everything. I think I covered it all here. I should also add in, this doesn't really fit in with any of these cameras. This is a Yashica. I just kind of put it in here because I didn't have a point and shoot right now. But SLR cameras, $250 to $600. This is your best camera to get if you are wanting to do actual photo shoots on film. This camera is cheap, it'll work with all of your lenses, and it's not blown out of the water on every social media outlet. Everyone knows about these high-end cameras like the Yashica, the Contax. Everyone's already buying them, so the price has been driven up. These are great cameras to buy. Literally anything that has a detachable lens on it is probably gonna be sharp, because the sharpness of your photos is defined by the lens more than the camera. The next realm, high-end point and shoots, way too expensive. Only get them if you're doing all of your research and you know this is something you want to get. But really, at the end of the day, the SLR can do everything this can do. Lastly, point and shoots. I don't know why I keep pointing at this because it's not a point and shoot. Point and shoots, anywhere from $10 to $250. If you're paying over $250, you're getting gypped. Wait for a better offer. Go on Facebook Marketplace, go on OfferUp. Don't go on eBay so much, because eBay can be a little bit more expensive, because if people are listing it, they usually know the price. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. Maybe I'll answer them. Maybe I'll never get on YouTube again. Hopefully this helped you make an informed decision. And yeah, peace.